start this video basically by diving into what's going on in WandaVision series. Now, let's just talk it out. Right now, we're at the end of episode 5. Episode 5 has basically put everybody's mind in overdrive right now. It's crazy, it's mysterious, it's just off the wall. We do have theories out there that Mephisto is playing a dark role in this series, and I want to just go ahead and start off by saying that's not happening. Let me just explain real quick, and we'll go from there. Disney has taken a huge hit financially since this pandemic has happened. And with that being said, I do not see Disney going with something as risky and as slippery slope as dwelling into the realm of religion. If you mention the devil, you've got to mention sin, you've got to mention Jesus, you got to mention God, and I'm sorry, but it's you can't have one coin with one side. There's two sides to it. So immediately that is an issue right there. But furthermore, we have to think about this from a business perspective. There is no way that China will allow Marvel to release a film within their country that has the devil in it. This is a $10 billion industry. And so, if it's not Mephisto, then what in the world is going on? Well, let's talk about it. What story has Marvel told us over and over and over again throughout all the films, in some shape, form, or fashion? It's been the story about the Infinity Stones. And what do we know about the ending of Endgame about the Infinity Stones? Well, we know that Cap took them back in time to correct the timeline, and then Cap didn't come back. But some of that doesn't make sense, because I don't know exactly where the heck Cap would have taken the Soul Stone. We are completely lost on how Cap took the Reality Stone back to the vault where Jane Foster found it, when nobody really knows the location of the vault. And if it was on Asgard, then we all know that Asgard has been destroyed. So, I mean, even if he does go back before Asgard was destroyed and puts it back in the vault, then eventually it's going to be found by Jane Foster again, and the whole loop is going to just continue to happen over and over and over again. So, what stones did Cap take back in time exactly? I could see him taking back the Time Stone back in time, so eventually it will end up in Doctor Strange's possession. But the other ones don't really make a lot of sense. I don't want, if I was Captain America, first thing and foremost, I would definitely not take the Tesseract back in time to where Red Skull could get his hands on it. Furthermore, I would absolutely not take the Tesseract and the Mind Stone back in time to where the Chitauri, Thanos, and eventually Loki could get it to start the battle in New York. So, if they didn't go back in time, then why did Cap say that he was taking back in time? Well, I believe that the Sword Agency came to Captain America, said, look, it's not safe to take him back where they're going, but let's do this whole smoke and mirrors presentation where it appears that you have taken them all back in time and put them in these certain areas, so people will continue to search for them out in the galaxy and not come here to Earth to find them all in one nice little neat package. And I also believe that while Wanda was breaking into the Sword Agency to find Vision being used as a weapon, or Vision's body helping them develop weapons, she sensed that the stone, the Mind Stone specifically, was close to her, and that's why she was able to find it within the base, because that's where her powers originated from. And when she found the Mind Stone, lo and behold, she also found additional stones. These additional stones, most importantly being one of them as the Reality Stone, which is something that we are having a huge issue trying to get a grasp on in this WandaVision episode, is what is reality. Something further that is an issue is what is time, because if we are skipping as fast as we are skipping, it may also be the Time Stone playing a role into it if it didn't end up back into the Ancient One's hands, and then eventually Doctor Strange. So, we're not sure. We'll see what happens with all that. But if Wanda did grab the Mind Stone to put it back into Vision's head, which we have seen glimpses of it in the trailer, the trailer for episode 2 and now the trailer for episode 6, both shows the Mind Stone, one with a yellow aura, one with a blue aura. As we know, when Ultron cut away the outer shell of the Mind Stone, it exposed the yellow core of the Mind Stone. And I do believe that both of these stones are the same stone in the trailers. And if that's the case, then, Wanda has the stone to put back into Vision's head to bring Vision back to life, which explains why Vision's back to life. And what disconnections from the stone happened in Wakanda, that may also be the reason why Vision is more emotional and more erratic in these scenes over the last few episodes this season. So, that's to be seen yet. We're not really sure, exactly why Vision is the way he is. But if Wanda did take these additional stones, the Reality Stone, the Time Stone, and the Mind Stone with her, then we may be seeing the Reality Stone being the main controlling factor inside the Hex. Now, where does Agatha Harkness come in to all this play? We know that in Age of Ultron, Wanda didn't know the full extent of her power. She couldn't grasp exactly what she was able to do. We know that when she gets more emotionally unstable, her powers are multiplied. And if that's the case, what we might be seeing is a mix of Wanda's powers multiplied and the Reality Stone being used. And we also know from Thor Ragnarok that Doctor Strange is monitoring all threats to the planet. So if Doctor Strange is actually doing that, and that's why he was able to jump on Loki and Thor coming to the planet to find Odin so quickly, then we also should perhaps assume that Doctor Strange has already met Agatha. He already knows Agatha exists, and he already knows Agatha's abilities. And he may have already contacted her and, no pun intended, asked her if she was a good witch or a bad witch. And he ended up determining that she was a good witch. So when Wanda comes to Doctor Strange and says, "Hey, I want some help developing my powers and understanding my powers and everything," because he's the most qualified out of all the Avengers that are left, Doctor Strange says, "Look, my magic comes from the mystic arts, and your magic is different. I know somebody that might be able to help you with your magic, though." And he refers her to Agatha Harkness. Now, I'm not going down some rabbit hole where I'm just assuming all this. There is a little bit of proof that this might be the case. It's in a comic that came out between 1974 and 1975 called The Celestial Madonna. And it was where Wanda came to Agatha and asked her for help with her powers. And Agatha did just that. But she had, evil intentions with it. In the series, I'm not sure if Agatha's got evil intentions or not. There could be another person that's wielding Agatha, or basically telling Agatha if she does not do this, then he'll kill her. It could be her husband's Ralph. But, no matter what, I believe that Agatha got her hands on the Reality Stone, and she is the one that's controlling the reality that Wanda, Vision, and all these people are trapped in with the stone and her own personal powers. She's making Wanda believe that she has a certain amount of control, and perhaps maybe Wanda actually does have a certain amount of control. But as far as you know, Wanda having the same control over the Reality Stone, or the same power as the Reality Stone as she does the Mind Stone, I don't believe that's the case. So she may honestly be completely innocent in all this, and we're just going to have to see. As far as her kids go, I have no idea whether these kids are going to be around or not at the end of this. If the kids do disappear, that's going to basically send her into a full-on spiraling mental meltdown, and I'm not sure if that's where they're going to go with it. But what we also need to understand is if the Time Stone is being meddled with Agatha Harkness. What we know about the Time Stone from the Doctor Strange movie was that if you meddle with time too much, you could rip a hole in time that could spiral all realities and time itself into this chaotic order where they're all clanging together, and it becomes a total mess. And that might explain why Spider-Man's got a multiverse, and that might explain Multiverse of Madness Doctor Strange. What I do want to point out, though, is as I was making notes for this video, which I have lost, which is kind of why the video is all sporadic, I did make an acronym for the Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, so I could just make it quicker for me to explain it and kind of reference to the paper. And ironically, when I did that, I ended up putting down the letters M-O-M. It could be nothing, it could be something, but I do think it's a little ironic that we're watching Wanda become a mother, and we know that she's going to be in Multiverse of Madness. We know that she's going to be in the Spider-Man movie. And we know that there's a pretty good chance she may be one of the villains, if not the person that is in the middle between deciding whether she's good or bad. So we'll see what happens. She might be an antagonist. I'm not sure. But this is the end of my video, guys. I hope you liked it. I'm sorry it's so long, and I'm sorry it's all over the place. We will have a studio here eventually to continue these podcasts, these video podcasts for you. And I can continue to deliver my theories, whether they're the same or different as they are from the other ones, especially on this topic. I hope that some of this is right, and if not, man, it was fun talking about it anyways. So I look forward to seeing you guys like and subscribe to the video. Remember to comment below, and thank you for joining me here on the Minotaur Method. Minotaur!